evening and welcome. And after 2 weeks of having a little bit of a mid-season break, we're back here with the Oz Cro Soccer Show. And tonight it's episode 46, or our second season and our 16th episode. Good evening, dobra večer, as we say in Croatian. My name is Tonči Prusac, and well, it's great to be back after what we said was a bit of a mid-season break last week. We've got a ripper show lined up for you tonight. It's all happening in Croatia. The Croatian Soccer League, the Croatian Football League, Hrvatska Nogometna Liga, kicked off last weekend, and it's a bit of a euphoric feeling about Croatian football in Croatia. And to tell us all about that and everything that is going on in tonight's show, a big welcome to my co-host. Welcome back from a little bit of a mid-season break and a mid-season holiday, Ante Grabovac. How are you, Ante?
Excellent, thank you, Tonči. Good to see you again after a couple of weeks.
Yeah, mate. Now, look, while we were gone, you were out partying, enjoying the sights of Perth and taking in some football action. Tell us all about Perth and the short trip over to WA.
Yeah, lots of football action. It was quite exciting. Obviously, West Ham had a bit of a tour there. One of my sons is a crazy West Ham fan, and you know, I took in all the sights and sounds, and lots of training sessions, talks, behind the scenes stuff. That, you know, the way that they do things, 5 hours before a match, they get all the fans together, and you know, there were, you know, raffles, auctions, all sorts of talks for 2-3 hours about the old days and all that sort of stuff. I learnt a few new songs, and so yeah, it was everything West Ham, and both games were great. West Ham scored 9 goals over the course of 2 matches, 6-2 against Perth, and then 3-2 against Tottenham, and it was thrilling to see, you know, Tottenham's first match with Ange Postecoglou in charge, and they had 30 shots to 4 and ended up losing the match 3-2. And we tried to get close to both Perisic and Milija, but Tottenham were too hard to get close to. No luck.
No good. No, well.
It was crazy. We got kicked out of the hotel. We got, you know, there were 10,000 people at training. It was just absolute madness. So, you know.
But as far as the Grabovacs are concerned, who cares about Jedinak or Postecoglou, Tottenham, or even Perisic? Forever blowing bubbles, the Grabovacs were, weren't they?
It was, yeah.
That's their song, isn't it?
It was interesting.
Now,
it was interesting. And Perth's a great city, so yeah.
Did you get a chance to pop over to the Croatian clubs, Guelph, Croatia, Western Knights, anything like that? I know it was midweek and a bit difficult, but did you get a chance?
I did a drive-by. Yes, I did a drive-by to both Guelph and Western and the Croatian church in Fremantle as well. So yeah, it was good to be there. But unfortunately, I was planning to go to Nashville because there was a game on Saturday afternoon, but then my son signed me up for this West Ham sort of pre-match thing that started at 1 p.m. So, you know, it was just no chance. And yeah, so yeah, it would have been good to watch a match, but I did visit the fields, and yeah, it's great to see the Croatian clubs doing so well over there.
Absolutely. Now, we'll be talking about them, those 2 clubs, and we'll be talking about the fortunes of all the other Australian Croatian clubs in the various NPL and state competitions. Wasn't the best of weeks, but we'll find out a little bit more about that. There was a Croatian derby thrown in amongst all of that as well. Huge Croatian derby coming up this weekend. We'll find out all about that in the Australian Croatian wrap-up. We will talk about the HNL, as we mentioned. That kicked off over the weekend. Just gone by, we've got some exclusive footage as well of the eternal derby, the Vječiti derby between Hajduk and Dinamo, thanks to Marinko Markovic from Canberra, who is currently holidaying in Croatia, as it seems half of the Australian Croatian community is.
They're all over there.
They're all over there. But mate, speaking of Australian Croatians in Croatia, we've got 2 fine young gentlemen who have signed professional contracts to play in the 3rd tier, the Liga 2, or Druga Liga, the 2nd division. And we'll be speaking to those 2 fine young men tonight in tonight's show. Ante, live from Croatia. Who might they be? Tell us all about that.
Well, we've got Anthony Leban, and so we're really looking forward to chatting to him, and Josip Orlovic as well. So Anthony's playing for, or just signed for, NK Hrvace, and we've got Josip Orlovic, who is, of course, over with NK Mladost. So yeah, we're really looking forward to speaking to both of those fine young gentlemen this evening.
Yes, and you may ask yourselves, where are those two clubs? Well, NK Hrvace is just a few kilometres north of Sinj, which is in turn about 30 kilometres or 20 to 30 kilometres north of Split. And Mladost Zdralovi is a club that is located in Bjelovar, sort of up north, sort of a little bit east, not too far east. You're not near Osijek, and you're not too far west near Zagreb. You're sort of somewhere in the middle, south of Koprivnica, for those Vegeta lovers. But anyway, we'll find out more about life in Hrvace and life at Mladost Zdralovi a little bit later on when we do chat to those two gentlemen in the second half of the show. But we've got a big news hour coming up. So let's get straight to it. But before we do that, folks, we really need your assistance. We need your support, and we need a lot of sponsorship. It's episode 16 of our second season. Last year, we managed to get through to 30 episodes, which is absolutely fantastic. And this year, we want to get to there's something similar, but we really do need your support. We really do need your help. So if you are interested in sponsoring or advertising on our show, Oz Cro Soccer Show @gmail.com. That's the email. Email us now. Email us tonight, in fact. Or you can call us on 0402 012 716. Don't call us now. We're on air, but maybe call us sometime tomorrow. If your club or your business would like to jump on board and help us see out the this season. And geez, Auntie, we're just talking off air. There is so much to look forward to, haven't we? There are World Cup, Euro Championship qualifiers. There's obviously the Croatian soccer tournament. Speaking of the Croatian soccer tournament, big announcement about to be made about that. We've also obviously got a year when a lot of the Croatian clubs could do very well in Europe. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the Croatian roundup. But next week, Ante, we've got a huge coup. Do you want to tell the listeners or the viewers what is going to happen next week?
Well, apparently we're doing the draw for the Croatian soccer tournament, which will be very exciting. I've always wanted to do a live draw. I've got up in the middle of the night to watch World Cup draws, Euro draws, all those sorts of things. So I'm really looking forward to doing a draw here live next Wednesday night. So, can't wait for it. Yeah, so the Hrvatski nogomet, or the nogomet, how does it go? The Croatian Soccer Association of Australia. The Savez affection. Everyone knows it as the Savez. No one knows it as the Croatian Soccer Association of Australia. The president, Jure Dragovic, and some of his members of the committee, they all will be coming on next week to conduct a live draw for the tournament. We also hope to have someone from Adelaide, Croatia, or from the organising committee also on next week's show to bring us all the latest. And look, I saw some footage during the week of the Chinese national team. They've taken over the Croatian Sports Centre, but only temporarily. They're using that as the training base for their Women's World Cup. And I guess one of the legacy items of that is that the Adelaide Croatian Sports Centre is going to have world-class, immaculate surface for the tournament. So that is going to be something to behold, that's for sure. Fantastic. Yeah. Okay, folks, don't go away. We're going to take a very short break, and when we do return, it's the news desk, the Australian Croatian roundup with Ante. Don't go away.
Welcome to Slovicek Studio Architecture, our unique needs. We listen closely to your vision and turn it into a functional, beautiful living environment that truly feels like home. Our designs cater to your needs and evolve with you over time, encouraging deeper connections with family and friends. Specializing in custom residential homes and boutique apartments, we balance luxury and comfort to create a welcoming atmosphere for everyone to enjoy. Discover a world of inviting and captivating design at www.slovicekstudio.com.au. Contact us for a journey from idea to reality. Slovicek Studio Architecture, turning your dreams into reality.
Good evening, folks. And yes, just wanted to start the news with some very sad news. As Petar Finka has mentioned in the chat, that rest in peace, Josip Orlovic, absolute iconic member of the Sydney Croatian community, both in music and football. 100% agree. Petar, thank you for that comment in the chat. I've got wonderful memories growing up with Josip at various Croatian events and weddings, etc. He was a great entertainer, fabulous singer. And of course, he was the actual composer of a song that, you know, everyone sings, I think, from here to Croatia these days, Živjela Croatia. Back in 1972, he actually composed that song, and it's world-renowned now. Of course, his son Darko actually re-recorded it quite recently, just a couple of years ago. So it's the entire Zoric family and everyone in the Croatian community. Of course, he had a lot to do in the Sydney Croatian community, but he was well known across all of the Australian Croatian community. Deepest condolences to the entire Zoric family. And of course, we had his son, Steven Zoric, on here just a few weeks ago with Hrvace Zagreb. He's running the Hrvace Zagreb Academy. So deepest condolences to the entire Zoric family from everyone here at the Oz Cro Soccer Show, a member of the community that will long be remembered. And of course, that particular song, Živjela Croatia, will live on forever. And he actually had a lot of recordings. Even in the old days, he was contracted to, I'm pretty sure, to EMI and recorded singles and albums and things like that. So it's amazing, the impact he's had on the Croatian community, particularly here in Sydney. So absolutely, Petar Finka, rest in peace, Josip Zoric, and anyone else who wants to leave comments, please do, because Josip was a very, very well respected, very well valued member of the Sydney Croatian community in particular. All right, in terms of the news, so Taunchi, if you could bring up the round of 32 fixtures, we're going to be talking obviously about these. Yep. Next Friday, they're kicking off and happening. I think there's a bus being organised by the Sydney United supporters all the way to Newcastle for the Kabapi versus Chavapi battle with the Broadmeadow Magic versus Sydney United, Magic Park, Friday, 4th of August, 7:30 p.m. kickoff. That same night, Canberra, Croatia are away to Mount Druitt at Popendetta Park. So, if you are staying at home, put it on your 10-play screens, split the screens, and you'll see both matches. Of course, on the 9th, we've got the Gold Coast Croatia in action against Devonport Strikers. And then we have Melbourne Knights in action as well against Lions on the 10th of August. So, a big set of fixtures coming up over the next couple of weeks, and put them in your diary because, if you haven't already got them. So, enjoy that.
Yeah, that's going to be in 2 weeks' time. So it's going to be huge. We'll be coming live on the Tuesday night that week, because obviously Gold Coast Knights on the Wednesday night, the Melbourne Knights on the Thursday night. On the Tuesday night, North Geelong will also be playing a midweek catch-up game. So we hope to actually do a live cross to Alco Park for what could be a crucial clash against Oakley in terms of the relegation battle. But it all starts on that Friday night, the 4th of August, and wow, two blockbuster away games. So hopefully we can get all the Croatians in those respective cities. I know the Newcastle Croatian community will be out in full force for the Sydney United game. I know the Canberra Croatians will travel to Sydney, and I'm sure there'll be a large contingent of the Sydney Croatian community supporting Canberra, Croatia as well. So, it should be absolutely fantastic. And this is what we've been looking forward to, Ante, for a long, long time. And, it's finally getting closer. But moving on to league action, Ante.
League action. Brisbane have been promoted. How good is that? Fantastic. Wow. And this weekend, they play for the premiership. They had a 1-1 draw on the weekend, but it's enough for promotion. So hopefully this Sunday, get on down to Wakefield Park. They're away to the Brighton Bulldogs, and they're coming last. So should be another victory. Come on. Well done, Brisbane. All right, moving on to the Gold Coast. And the Gold Coast Knights were 3-2 away winners against the Brisbane Roar. and they're sitting pretty in first position, 5 points ahead of the second place Gold Coast United. There are, we've got 5 rounds left there.
Yeah.
4 rounds left there.
4 rounds.
There you go, 4. I just calculated very quickly, and there you go. First versus 7th this weekend against Peninsula Power. So Gold Coast Knights, let's get closer to shoring up that premiership.
3 out of 3. The first 3 we've looked at. We've got 3 Croatian clubs on top of the competition standings. How good is that, auntie?
That's because I organised it that way. Exactly. So the Western Knights and Guelph both were victors over the weekend. Western Knights are sitting first. I mean, look at that. Tick, tick, tick. 5 in a row. They're going gangbusters. And so this Saturday, they are away to Fremantle City at Hilton Reserve. And on Saturday, also this weekend, we've got Guelph away to Subiaco. So let's hope that both teams can get the victories there. And there's only 1 point between first and second in this particular league. And so, let's make sure that Western Knights can get the promotion to the top division there. In Adelaide, they are 1 point ahead, and they've only got 2 rounds left. So this is very, very exciting. They were 5-1 victors over Eastern United. And so the round 21 and 22 fixtures, they're actually taking on 10th place in round 21, but they're taking on 3rd place in round 22. So that could be the match that decides who gets promoted, etc. So, go out there and support, give them an extra leg.
Well, how good is that? That, like, the decider could actually happen at home on the 12th of August. Wow, that'd be absolutely fantastic. That
would be incredible.
Could be the season decider, yeah. Moving along now to the NPL ACT competition.
Another first. Look at that. O'Connor Knights are sitting well first, but the Canberra FC actually stopped their winning streak with a big 2-2 draw in the Croatian derby on the weekend. And Taunchi, I think you got some footage of that last goal there.
Yeah. This is courtesy of well-known ACT football commentator Russ Gibbs, his Facebook page and Bar TV as well. But that's pretty much the last play of the day. And
what a clever free kick. And they were a man down as well in the 98th minute to get the 2-2 draw. So, and that a crucial point because that puts them 4 points ahead of the Tigers, and it's round 15 of 21 there. So, so there you have it. They go O'Connor in Canberra. Down in Victoria, the league we call the Crazy League, which is the NPL 2, round 23 of 26, Kingston City and Dandenong drew 1-1, and they were first versus second. So would have been good for Dandy to get the chocolates there, but unfortunately they didn't. They are 1 point behind Kingston at this particular point in time, and they take on the 6th place North Coast City at home on Friday night. Taunchi, have you got any other further comments on this crazy league that you keep talking about?
Yes, this weekend, Kingston City taking on Western United. So the ideal situation there, I reckon, would probably be either a Western United win or even a draw, I suppose. I suppose a draw might even be a good kind of a thing, but as long as Dandenong City wins. But look, Dandenong City, they've got their own destiny in their own hands. They've got a reasonably good run home. They've got the momentum at the moment. They're doing very, very well, collecting a lot of points, and they've hit their straps at the right time. There's all sorts of talk at the moment, aren't there? And we don't really know with regards to the National Second Division. And, let's say there are a few clubs from Melbourne Knights included, that end up being a part of this National Second Division. The talk then is that what that would do is that would open up a vacancy then in the NPL competition. So then that translates to possibly we might not have any relegation, and we'll only have promotion. So potentially, and we'll talk about this a bit later on, this could mean then that North Geelong and St Albans, who are fighting it out for survival in the NPL, may survive, but we may lose Melbourne Knights, obviously, to the National Second Division, but gain Dandenong City. So we'd still have 3 Croatian clubs in next next season's elite. That would be great. That would be.
I think all the federations would love to know what's happening with this second division as well. I think it'll help everyone.
yeah, absolutely. But some interesting times, and we do call this the competition of chaos in Melbourne because anyone can beat anyone on any day, and it's just insane. I mean, you've got the bottom side with 23 points.
Exactly.
And they with just a couple of good games could just end up. And Baska Voda, who are coached by Ante Mladic now, he came in midway through the season. They were touted as championship favourites at the start of the year, and look where they are now. So quite amazing, where it's all ended up. And Moreland Zebras, who are in fact actually they should be Brunswick Zebras. They are actually second last position. They're coached by Kruni Rajov, former St Albans coach as well. So hopefully those two clubs as well will survive because of the Australian Croatian connection. But let's see what eventuates. Anyway, moving on to Tassie.
100% in Tassie. Glenorchy sitting in second position. Unfortunately, they lost on the weekend. 3-1 to the team coming first, and that puts them 7 points behind Devonport City. This weekend, they are at home against Launceston, who are coming fourth. So let's hope they get the points there. In Newcastle were 4-0 winners against South Maitland. So that's terrific for them. And this weekend, they are at home at Pasadena Oval on Saturday afternoon. So they'll be getting ready to bring the chocolates home for Sydney United on Friday night, the 4th of August. Okay, moving on to NPL Victoria. Nothing. Geez, North Geelong got a very important point. So that brought them into 13th position with a 0-0 draw against Heidelberg. Tuanchi, were you at that match?
I was at that game, at the North Geelong game. It was frustrating because Heidelberg ended up down to 10 men just before the interval. And so they played the entire second half with 10 men. It could have gone either way, really, but there were some chances and it looked like there was a couple of instances where you just thought North Geelong was going to score. And unfortunately, they didn't. But look, what do you do? It was one of those unfortunate things. A point is good, but it was more like 2 points lost than 1 point gained. But after the final whistle, Nikola Jurkovic got red carded for North Geelong because apparently there was some sort of altercation that may have involved the Heidelberg coach. I don't know, but as both teams were leaving, he was shown the red card. So he'll be out of action on Saturday. So it's an unusual time, Saturday, 4 o'clock, the big Croatian derby. But Dinamo have also got 2 players that are out as well. But before we do move on to that, if you are interested to hear what Tommy Gavran, the North Geelong Warriors coach, had to say, he featured on our sister podcast, the Football Out West show, on Sunday night, talking about that game and also talking about the big Croatian derby this weekend coming. So if you want to catch that replay and you haven't had a chance to do so, jump onto the Football Out West show YouTube channel, and the full interview is there with Tommy Gavran as well. So jump onto that and remember to hit the subscribe button as well. Oh, by the way, folks, if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, go over there after the show, or if you're watching it now live on YouTube, hit that subscribe and like button and all of the things that you normally do. And let's go back to that ladder, Ante.
Yeah, Green Gully defeated the Knights and St Albans lost to Avondale. And so, the Knights are sitting 4th, St Albans in 11th, and North Geelong in 13th. As we mentioned, the Croatian derby this weekend. So get on down there at Churchill Reserve on Saturday afternoon. And the Knights are away to Hume City at Hume City Stadium on Saturday as well. John Bilosh saying, big game, gents. Is a draw good enough? Could be. Hopefully it will be, John. And John was, of course, our guest a couple of weeks ago. And if you haven't watched that show, then please do revisit it. Sydney United, leading 1-0 at half-time and losing 3-1. Lots of plaudits for the goalkeeper, Luke Zucker, who apparently he saved a penalty and made several other saves. So apparently the word was if he wasn't there, it would have been about 8-1 to Blackdown City. So well done to Luke Tukar. But Sydney United, there you go, sitting in 10th position, unfortunately. And this weekend they're at home on a Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. against the Wollongong Wolves, and there are only 5 rounds remaining. And so, yeah, hopefully Sydney United can just keep that cup run happening. So we'll see what happens.
South Coast United and Port Kembla.
Yeah, nil or draw. So another critical point for South Coast. So they're sitting in 10th position now, and this weekend they're away at Macedonia Park. How many Macedonia Parks are there around Australia? Let me tell you, it seems to be a lot. And in NPL New South Wales League 2, round 25 of 30, Hersel Zagreb lost 3-2 to Western Rage, and they, like Sydney United, are sitting in 10th position. And this weekend they're away at Sir Ian McLennan Oval because there's no games in Wollongong this weekend for South Coast. South Coast fans, come down and support Hersel Zagreb on Saturday afternoon at home ground. So, yeah, let's do it. So in terms of the winners list this weekend, not too many winners. We've got Western Knights, we've got Newcastle, Croatia, we've got Guelph, and we've got the Gold Coast. And obviously the Raiders, they didn't play this weekend, but they're on a 2-match winning streak. So there you go, Taunchy. 2 weeks ago, we had 11 up here on that particular board, but this week we only got 4. So that's not what we want.
Not what we want, indeed, unfortunately. Thanks, Ante. Folks, don't go away. Later this evening, we'll be speaking to 2 young Aussie Croat footballers who are currently currently playing there. They've just signed professional contracts to play in the Croatian third tier, the Druga Liga. We'll be speaking to ex-North Geelong Warriors midfielder Anthony Leban, who has signed at NK Hrvace down in Dalmatian, and ex-Sydney United 1958 goalkeeper Joseph Orlovic, who is the custodian, the man between the sticks for NK Mladost Zdralovi, right up north, approximately halfway between Osijek and Zagreb, in a beautiful part of the world called Bjelovar. So we'll be speaking to those 2 gentlemen a little bit later on. But straight after this very, very short break, it's time for the Croatian roundup, and strap yourselves in, folks, for some awesome footage and some exclusive footage from Croatia. Don't go away. It's the Oz Cro Soccer Show, and thank you for being a part of it tonight. That's right. That was, you weren't, folks, you were not watching the EPL or the Bundesliga. That was the HNL. That was the Opus Arena. And it was amazing. It was absolutely incredible. Ante, we're going to show some more pictures of the unbelievable arena it was. It was pissing down rain. I'm allowed to use that word. It was really, really, the rain was just bucketing down, but just under 10,000 people didn't care. That's a great photo. That shows where the rain has come, and there's people there in that front row in wheelchairs and whatnot, and they haven't been wet. And the rest of the crowd was all undercover in absolute luxury. And to boot, look at that score. Osijek 6, Slaven Belupo 1. What a way to celebrate the start or baptize the new soccer stadium, the best soccer stadium in Croatia by a mile. And welcome to the HNL Opus Arena, as they are calling it. But that was definitely the highlight of the first round of matches. And mate, definitely a bucket list item.
I don't know if the Hajduk fans agree with you.
Oh, look, you know what? No, I reckon Hajduk fans would agree with me. You know what? I honestly reckon they would, because I think everyone's been crying for the Hajduk's Poljud stadium and the Maksimir and all of the other stadiums around the country to finally get renovated and finally get, I don't know, bulldozed and a new one built in. So hopefully this will add the impetus. But to further make it even more impressive, I think 5,500 Osijek have sold 5,500 season tickets. Another 1,000, and they're going to have effectively sold half of the stadium. Okay, they've never done that. They've never sold that many season tickets.
Incredible.
Which is an incredible number. But if we go look at the rest of the results in the opening round, I mean, it's obviously old news. Everyone knows about this. Hajduk Split came from behind to inflict a 2-1 win over Dinamo Zagreb at the Maksimir Stadium. 13,000 turned up. They're expecting more, but early in the day, as we all know, unfortunately, Zagreb has been hit by some really, really crazy weather in the last week or so. And it threatened to really, at one stage, they even thought maybe the game might be called off, but the weather calmed down. The angry gods, the gods of thunder and lightning went to sleep or whatever, and ended up the game was able to proceed. The following day, Osijek smashed Slaven Belupo 6-1. Rijeka, now keep an eye out on this team. I know they played the newly promoted Rudeš and absolutely smashed them 4-0. But they've got some damn good players, really good players. The only problem is they're going to actually miss their main striker, Matija Frigan, who's been sold for €5.5 million to Belgian side KVC Westerlo, or whatever they're called. The club where Melbourne City's Jordan Boss has been signed recently for €1.3 million. So Frigan is, Rijeka's, most prolific goal scorer, but they have got other people as well, other players as well to take his spot. Then you had on Sunday, Lokomotiva and Istra drew 1-1. Gorica and Varaždin drew 1-1. So take a look at the standings after the first round. Osijek at the top by virtue of a slightly better goal difference than Rijeka, and then Hajduk Split was the other winner of the opening round. If we go to the second round, round 2 fixtures this weekend. So these are times, according to us, our Australian time. So in the early hours of Saturday morning at 4 a.m., Varaždin take on Slaven Belupo in their first home game of the season. Gorica taking on Lokomotiva at 2:45 early Sunday morning. Watch out for this game. Istra taking on Dinamo Zagreb at 5 a.m. Okay, Pula in Pula. This is interesting because last year, Ante, if you remember, Istra gave Dinamo a good run for their money on a couple of occasions. In fact, every time they played them. They've picked up some very good players. They just need to gel. They've got former Hajduk coach Mislav Karoglan, who coached Hajduk for 12 games and did not lose once. So in the first of this game, his side drew 1-1 with Lokomotiva. So his unbeaten streak in the HNL at the moment is 13 games. 13 games, yeah. So that's an incredible result. So that should be a really interesting game. And Dinamo, well, we'll talk about that shortly, but they had a European Champions League qualifier early this morning. And they will obviously be preparing for the return league. But, that should be quite interesting. In Zagreb, Rudeš take on Osijek. Well, a real baptism of fire. First they had Rijeka, now they've got Osijek. That game is at the Kranjčević Stadium. That's at 2:45 a.m. on Monday morning. But wait for it, the big one is going to be happening in Split at 5 o'clock our time Monday morning, and it is headed for a sellout. Like last night, they said that it was something like 26,000 tickets were sold. We actually might find out from our guest tonight, Anthony Leban, because he lives in Split, so he might even be able to tell us the latest news if it's an official sellout. But during the week, Ante, Hajduk not only eclipsed a total of 80,000 members for 2023, but they also sold just over 13,000 season tickets for the Poljud. That means they've beaten last year's record of low 13,000s, whatever. So
and they've beat Dinamo and Maksimic, so it's been a great week for Hajduk fans, let me tell you.
So it's been an incredible week for it. Now we've got a little bit of footage that was sent to us by Marinko Markovic from Canberra, who's currently holidaying over there. Like we said, like half the Australian Croatian community. And
Dobro večer, dame sve. Spuštam se u plave.
Not too bad. Hey, I'll tell you what, he had some really, really good. He was able to sort of see the vantage really well. Now, this morning we had. Well, actually, before that, look, they do talk about Dinamo's stadium being absolutely, an abortion. I don't know, a rugla, they call it in Croatian, an ugly stadium. Some have called it the cold heart of hell. Who was it? Actually, one of the English, I don't know, was it the Everton manager a few years back or someone like that? I can't remember. But look at this. They've just signed overnight a Ukrainian player. And the photo that this was taken was in the players' race. Have a look at this players' race. This is coming out. Isn't that cool? That is awesome. The lighting, they've got the artificial turf. So this leads out onto the pitch. And if you've seen, it's kind of like underground. But on either side there, there's Bogdan Mikhailichenko is the signing, Ukrainian defender. But they've just basically painted, or it's a mural of just everyday fans. There's a couple of greats to motivate the players as they come onto the pitch, and that was fantastic. But
makes a difference.
It does, yeah. But overnight or early this morning, so they played in the first Champions League qualifier against the Kazakhstan side. It was a 4-0 win. But there are 3 Croatian players in the Kazakhstan side. Prior to the match, they sought a special type of assistance.
Divine intervention, yes.
Divine intervention, and that's what it is. FC Astana's Croatian contingent attended church service prior to the UEFA Champions League. Now, you've got Marin Tomasov, Josip Čondić, who's from Zagreb, and Stjepan Lončar. They went to the church there in central Zagreb in Palmotićeva ulica.
And it didn't help
unfortunately, it did not help him. It did not help him. But I tell you what, now we're moving to Hajduk Split. You know, when you've got 80,000 plus fans, aren't you? You're generally going to find stories of crazy fans. You're going to, fanatical fans. But one Slavonac during the week loves Hajduk now for more reasons than one. And basically, what happened there was his name is, there we go, Dino. Dino proposed to Edita on the hallowed ground of Poljud. There was a lot of organising behind the scenes, and he got his best man, and then there was a photographer there, and then a contacted Hajduk Split as well. And in the end, she said, "Da." Of course, she said, "Da." And congratulations to Dino and Edita, certainly that was a very, very memorable moment for them, without a shadow of a doubt. But how good is that? But whilst we're on the subject of Hajduk, the return of some of the club's favourite sons, Lovre Kalinic, the goalkeeper, Josip Orlovic, Dino Mikanovic, all of these players that have been injured, they made their return in a friendly against NK Solin. In fact, it was actually 7-1. Oh, actually, I've got the proper one there. There we go. Look how quickly I updated that. So they defeated NK Solin in a friendly in Mravince, which is a suburb of Split. And the important thing there is we saw Lovre Kalinic, the captain, courageous, back in action. There's an Australian Croatian connection there as well. Anthony Kalik, who hasn't been able to get into the first team much this season, or even with the pre-season games, but he did play for Hajduk and did relatively well as well. So that was really good to see as well. And there's also another Croatian connection there as well. The fella on the yellow, right on the right there, he's Nicholas Volarovic, formerly from North Geelong, and he's trialling there. And he was the teammate of our guest tonight, Anthony Leban. And Anthony's going to be joining us very, very shortly. So a lot happening there as far as Croatian news, aren't it?
Absolutely. It's all happening all over the world.
But did you like that little bit about the divine intervention? I mean, well, look, of course, maybe they were just coming there for I don't know, just regular missile. Maybe they were asking the one up there for a little bit of help. But, Luka Ivanušec, 3 goals. His price has just dramatically increased overnight. Bruno Petkovic, another goal. So they have Dinamo lead into the second leg in Kazakhstan next week with a 4-0 lead. So things looking good for the Modri.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. We're going to take a little break. When we return, we'll be speaking to the first of our guests tonight. We'll be speaking to Anthony Leban, who is currently in Split, and he has just signed a contract with NK Hrvace in the Croatian third-tier conference. Folks, don't go away. That's coming up straight after this break.
Our name is derived from the Greek prefix macro, large. From the day we were born, this has been a promise for the future. We have grown through dedication, sweat, self-denial, faithful to our mission of being on the side of those who put themselves on the line. Through our name, we celebrate the greatness of those who believe there are no obstacles higher than their dreams. The courage to get back up after falling. The obstinacy of believing until the end. These are the values embedded in our logo. The Macron Hero. It's a celebration of sacrifice and tenacity. Up until your personal victory, until your arms are in the sky. Become your own hero.
Welcome back to the Oz Cro Soccer Show. Thank you for being a part of tonight's show. We've got our guest all the way from Split coming up very, very shortly. But before we do that, Ante, one thing I failed to mention was the second qualifying round of the Europa Conference League. First leg matches are being played this Friday, our time. Osijek taking on Hungarian side. And do you want to have a go at pronouncing that team?
No, I don't. No.
Zalaegershegi. I've got no idea. I give up. That's at the Opus Arena. Apparently something like 10,000 tickets have already been sold for that. And we've still got another, a day and a half to go before that. So that's also headed for a sellout. Then Rijeka travel to Kosovo, to the town of Klina. That game's going to be at 4 a.m. on Friday. I'm going to try and pronounce this one. KF Duka Gini. I don't like my Albanian, but hopefully I've sort of said it right. And the other game, Ante, that's really, really important for Hajduk Split fans is the PAOK Thessaloniki game and Beta Jerusalem. So that game is going to be held in Greece. The winner of that takes on Hajduk in the third round, the third qualifying round. So that's going to be happening very, very shortly. So looking forward to that. I think it's early next month or thereabouts. But, mate, time to now call on our first guest. And he about a year ago, he was playing in the NPL Victoria second division with North Geelong Warriors, and then decided with some teammates, including the Skorkor brothers and Nicholas Vladovic, who we saw an image of him just playing on the weekend for NK Solin in a trial match, decided to pack up and go to Croatia. And only last week he signed a professional contract with Croatian third-tier side NK Hrvace. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome Anthony Leban all the way from Split, live from Split. How are you, Anthony?
Yeah, good, Tonchi. I'm actually not in Split. I'm in Betina, on the island of Mute at the moment. I've got a free day, so the boys from Geelong have come here, and I thought I haven't seen them for 9 months now, so I thought I'd go visit them and catch up.
Excellent. Well, do say hi to all of the boys from Geelong. But you had a little bit of a Australian Croatian contingent last year at NK Urania, which of course was coached by none other than Spider Kalac. But it was Luka Skorkor, yourself, Nicholas Vladovic, and we had one of the Sydney boys, Slunski, is that right?
Yeah. Christian Slunski, yeah.
Christian Slunski was there as well. Mate, tell us, first of all, how did that all come about? A year ago, you were playing NPL 2 Victoria football with North Geelong Warriors, and then you ended up on the other side of the world, living everyone's dream and playing football in Europe.
Yeah. So it's been pretty good. I ended up at Baska Voda. So I was originally... I had a trial at Hrvatski Druga Liga at the start of the year in January, and so I trained under Željko Kalac. I couldn't play any games because I came too late. I came in October last year, which is like towards the end of the season. So I decided to just keep fitness, and Željko said I could train, and he actually wanted me to like get my papers so I could play, but didn't end up happening. So I trained under Željko, and then I ended up having trials at Hrvatski Druga Liga, and then that kind of didn't go to plan. They didn't have room for me, and they had a few club problems, to say, and then there was a spot at Baska Voda back near Makarska, so I needed a club to play at, and there was Niki Vladovic, Luka, and Christian, so it was a good time. It was good.
Whole new combination over there, exactly.
Yeah. It was good.
What's the difference that you see so far in playing in North Geelong versus playing in Croatia? What's the biggest differences that you see so far?
I mean, like the players here are all very good. I mean, they all grow up playing soccer, so they're all technically very good. It's just like kind of that Dalmatian lifestyle, the laid back lifestyle. The trainings were good. Like we trained 4 times a week. It was almost like North, you train 4 times a week, you have the game. But it's not as like stamina is not much like of a thing here in Dalmatia, but they're all technically really good. So it was a different kind of football, but it was it was good. I didn't know what to expect, but it was good.
Yeah. What about the physical element? Is it a lot more physical than, say, NPL 2 Victoria, or not as physical as NPL 2 Victoria?
Yeah, it's hard to kind of explain. Like in when I was playing at North, I felt like the game was a bit quicker, so to speak. But when I was playing at Baska, like the tempo was like it would change. It would be fast and quick. It's not like up and down. It was more like you'd have a good player on the ball, he'd make a play, and then like the action's over, and then whereas in Australia you just go kind of thing. Yeah. But it was a good level. Like there was ex League One players and stuff, so they've all got quality.
And what was it like being trained under Spider Kalac, the legendary Spider?
Good. Yeah, obviously, he's got experience. He's knowledgeable. I learnt a few tips off him. He's obviously got experience being in AC Milan, the national team. He had his way of playing, and it was good. I didn't get to play under him any games, but the trainings were very good. They were tough, and it was good. A good experience.
Tell us about your current club and how long have you been there? What stage are you at the moment? Have you had a few trial matches because the season hasn't started yet? Tell us about some of your teammates as well.
Yeah, so last week, Wednesday maybe, was my first training, and then I had a game the next day against Solin. So I was previously at Solin doing a trial, like pre-season training, and again, it didn't go my way. They had a lot of midfield players. I tried my best, my hardest, and it didn't fall my way. But luckily, like Hrvace must have been like they've got scouts or like someone watching the games and stuff, and they needed a midfielder and they liked what they saw, and then they called me, and then they want to have me in the squad, and yeah, just from the get go they wanted me, so it was good.
Yeah, if you do a Google map search, you'll find Hrvace just north of Sinj, which is about 20, 30 kilometers from Split. So it seems to be like a very rural kind of a club and all of that. But where do they get most of their players? Locals, or do they get a lot of players from the Split area or Sinj area?
Yeah, so there's I know there's a few Sinj boys, a few of the younger boys are from Sinj. So yeah, a few Sinj boys, and then there's a group of us that go from Split. There's 2 cars, so I go with 4. There's 5 of us in one car, and there's like 3 in the other. So there's a lot of Split boys that play in that team, and yeah, so it's good. It works out well.
Hopefully they're all midgets in that car that you go with, because otherwise there wouldn't be much leg room, would there?
Yeah, it's some of the cars, but yeah, I try and get the front. I try and get the front seat, but if I don't, then what can you do?
Yeah.
It's not too far. It's only like if you step on it, it's 30 minutes, so it's not too bad.
Not too bad.
And where in the midfield do you prefer to play, Anthony? Where would be your ultimate position?
I've always looked up to Steven Gerrard, so I've always wanted to be a box-to-box midfielder. I like going attacking, defending, but they've kind of they've put me more as a 6 role, like a more defensive midfielder, which I enjoy. I like playing that position. I like anywhere in the midfield. So, but yeah, box to box, I like getting up and down.
Yeah. Now, Anthony, obviously, your dad hails from the Međimurje area up north, and your mum hails from the Istra area of out right west. So, coming to Dalmatia is a very, very different temperament, very different culture, I guess, culture shock to what you're used to. How did you find life in Dalmatia, and how are you finding life in Dalmatia at the moment? What have you had to adopt, and what have you liked and what have you disliked about your first few months living in the south of Croatia?
It's been different to Australia. Yeah, pros and cons from both sides. I mean, it's a laid back coffee, everyday lifestyle. Yeah, like I enjoy it. I think I could live here. You know, it's like so it's good. Compared to like where my dad's from, it's a bit different. Yeah, just the language as well. They speak very quick here. I can get by with Croatian, so it's improved a lot. But yeah, I've started to use that Split dialect, Lipo, Livo, and all that. So it's good. I enjoy it, and yeah, the Split culture is good. They're very tough. They're how do I put it? Like they say it how it is, and yeah, I respect it. So it's been good.
Yeah. And what are the other what's in the program for the preseason? Are you training in the mornings? Are you going to have other trial matches? Are you playing against teams from any other regions, or what do you have in store?
So yeah, last week we trained every day twice. We did running in the morning. So our coach is Gigica Kovac. He was an ex-Hajduk player. So he's been pretty tough. Yeah, so that was a tough week. We did running in the morning, just runners without the ball, and then in the afternoon we have a training session. So that was a good week. And then this week he's kind of taken it back a bit. So we had training Monday, Tuesday. And he's giving us today off, and then. But yeah, no double sessions this week. And we played Dugopolje last Saturday, and unfortunately we lost 3-0. They were a very good side. We had our chances too. We just couldn't put it away. Just how it was. And we played a few of our younger boys. They towards the end, they played a few of their younger boys. So it was a good hit out, though. We played at the Druga Liga Stadium, which is a great stadium. I think this Saturday we've got a game maybe against Zmaj Makarska, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. Now, Anthony, you're 20. You've moved to the other side of the world. You're living on your own. Your family's still in Geelong at the moment. What are your words of advice for any other young aspiring Australian Croatian footballers looking to pack up their bags and seek their fortune overseas? What are some of the things that you'd say to these people? Yep.
What I'd say. If you've been training your whole life, soccer, football, you've been doing it your whole life. I think your parents can see that you really want it. I'm sure that would help you. They'd support you. Just give it your all. I mean, you're only young once. You'll probably regret it later in life. At the end of the day, if nothing works out, it's an unbelievable experience. You'll tell your kids one day. And no better place to come than Croatia. I mean, now in the summer. In Betina now. It's a small little town on the coast. So, I'll just say work hard. Pursue your dreams and just go for it.
Awesome. Brilliant.
Excellent stuff.
Well, young man, we wish you all the very, very best. A big shout out to your parents, Stan and Kathy, who are in Geelong tuning into this program. And I'm saying you might want to say a couple of words to them, to your brother Carl, who's also a promising young footballer, Western United. NPL Juniors. What have you got any words for your family and friends back home in Geelong?
Yeah, I'll just say hello. I miss them. Mum, Dad, Carl, my girlfriend Alana. Just the family. Just miss them. Say hello. Hopefully I get to see them soon. I saw Alana, but I wouldn't mind seeing my parents and my brother soon. Maybe back in Australia. Maybe they come here. We'll see. We'll try to work something out. And to my baba, my dida, my baka, everyone.
Yeah, I think they should actually all go over there and visit you over there, rather than you come back over here.
Very cool. We'll follow your fortunes, Anthony. So hopefully you have a great season, and we'll definitely be following how your team goes.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm actually going to the Hajduk game on Sunday against Rijeka, so I'll have to send you a photo, Tonchi.
Do take some footage, and we'll have to play it in next week's game. Yeah, is it a sellout? Yeah, have they announced anything? It's a sellout or not? Or
I don't know, but I think it is because it was very hard to get tickets. I think Josip helped us out, so it's me, Luka going, and a few other boys. So we'll see. It should be a good turnout. Should be a good turnout.
It will be. It will be. Good on you, Anthony, and all the very best for the season ahead.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thank you,
Anthony Leban, lovely young man, only 20, and he's pursuing his dreams overseas. We'll be speaking to another young fella. He's a teenager, still a teenager. Our next guest, and he's now he's going to be the goalkeeper in the exact same division, the exact same league in the Druga Liga, but for a club called NK Mladost Zdralovi. And we'll find out a little bit more about that club and that player, Josip Orlovic, former Sydney United youth goalkeeper, straight after this break. Don't go away, folks.
Welcome to Slovicek Studio Architecture. Our approach combines modern design with harmonious solutions tailored to your unique needs. We listen closely to your vision and turn it into a functional, beautiful living environment that truly feels like home. Our designs cater to your needs and evolve with you over time, encouraging deeper connections with family and friends. Specializing in custom residential homes and boutique apartments, we balance luxury and comfort to create a welcoming atmosphere for everyone to enjoy. Discover a world of inviting and captivating design at www.slovicekstudio.com.au. Contact us for a journey from idea to reality. Slovicek Studio Architecture, turning your dreams into reality.
Yes, we heard from Anthony, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce a gentleman who, it's been an absolute pleasure to watch growing up. Now, this guy has been at every Sydney United game that I can remember for the last 15 years or so. And he has made his way over to Croatia. He's done fantastically well. So it brings me great pleasure to introduce all the way from Bjelovar, Mr. Josip Orlovic. Josip, welcome to the show.
Hello, Josip. How are you?
Hello, you see me?
Yeah, we can see you. How
Yes.
you going?
I'm all right. How about you?
Yeah, very good.
Excellent.
There seems to be like a little bit of a delay, yeah, aren't it?
How are you doing over in Croatia? Tell us a bit about the journey. How did you end up in Croatia in the first place?
Mate, I first of all came over through my goalkeeper coach, who you probably know, Ante Vitas in Sydney United, and I went to train with Dinamo at the start, and then I was actually training with Rudeš in the preseason of not this last season, the last season that just passed, and we played a friendly game, and one of the coaches saw me from the club that I'm at now, and then sort of asked me if I wanted to come over here. And now under 19s just got promoted to the first division, and then I made the choice to come here, and I've been here for just over a year now. Last week.
So, are you, Josip? Are you living in Bjelovar, or are you living in Zagreb and commuting to Bjelovar?
No, I'm in an apartment here in Bjelovar with one of my teammates. So, not doing the commute from Zagreb.
Tell us about Bjelovar. Tell us a bit about life in Bjelovar. Seems to be, am I right in saying, sort of halfway between Zagreb and Osijek? And
it's about an hour. It's about an hour drive from Zagreb, 60 k's. But
okay,
it's a bit long. I wouldn't say in between Osijek. It's about still here 2.5, 3 hours to Osijek still. But no, it's a small town. I mean, it's a lot smaller than Sydney, but still, it's not a cellar, man. Like it's got its main square and a couple streets and enough cafiche. Don't worry about that, mate.
Everywhere you go. Now, Josip, tell us a little bit about basically when you decided that you liked goalkeeping, and then how did you get to that actual position?
Mate, to be honest, I used to play on the field when I was back at fast football with I don't know if you know the Bosnard brothers. They used to run an academy with a couple young Crow boys, and we used to play just like for Burl Park soccer team. And then I don't know, one day I went in goals because we used to rotate, and then after that I just went in for a half every game, and then I ended up playing full in goals, and I don't know, I just loved it, and I ended up going to Željko Kalic's training at Macquarie, and then I don't know, from then on I just loved goalkeeping, man. It was I don't know how to explain it. It's just goalkeeping.
It's just something you've already mentioned Vitas. I mean, Jerry Bjelovar has just left a message, and of course his particular son also came through the academy with Vitas, etc. How important has he been in your development? Because he's actually developed quite a number of goalkeepers now, hasn't he?
Mate, I don't really have words for him, mate. He's unbelievable. Since I got to Sydney United, I was 12, and I left a couple of weeks before my 17th birthday. I was there with him 4 or 5 days a week training. I used to catch 2 free buses, 2 trains to get to King Tom, to get there just on time, and nothing without him. I don't know where we all be at the moment. So couldn't say anything more about him. Well,
he's doing really well as a coach, isn't he?
Yeah, he's top.
Yeah. Now, mate, you said you had your training at NK Hrvace. You played a few games in our second tier as well. Hrvace have now moved on to the Premier League as well, and you're now playing senior level in the third tier. Is there a big difference between the various standards of Croatian football, and what is the difference? Is it speed? Is it skill? Is it physicality? What are the big differences between the various leagues over there?
To be honest, I think from my eyes, I reckon the first league to the second league is a massive jump, but then from the second to the third league, I think it's just way more physical. There's still heaps of good technical players, but from the second to the third league, I think it's just a lot of it's real physical and just I don't know. They play the game on power, and I don't know. To the first league, I think there's a bit more technical players and a bit more tactics involved. But in the second and third division, I think it's a a lot similar to each other compared to the first.
Yeah, yep, interesting. Yeah, we had Anthony Leban just prior to this, and he's from he's signed with NK Hrvace, and and he's now making the step up from the 4th tier to the 3rd tier, and he's just sort of finding some very interesting things, like a lot more players that are a lot more technical, obviously, compared to the 4th tier. But it's great to see that there are a lot of Australian Croatian boys, kids over there at the moment. Are you aware of any others? I know we had Jacob Tadashenko, ex-Newcastle, who's at Druga, and he's in the same league and same division. But are you aware of any other boys from Sydney or from other parts of Australia that are in Croatia at the moment?
There's a couple in Split. I know there's a boy in Istra from Melbourne, Tomislav Glavan. I think he plays for Istra. I know that Slunski's in Hajduk, the youngest one, but I'm not sure.
What's his name? I know we heard Christian was at Urania last year. What's the youngest one called?
Noah. He plays for Hajduk in the younger ages, but also one of Vitas's goalkeepers, Goran, he was at Lučko the second half of last season, so he's over here in Crow as well.
Geez, we've got a
fantastic.
I don't know. There's a lot of us around here. I'm not sure everyone.
Tell us a little bit about your team. Do you have a lot of foreigners? Do you have a lot of young players? Who's the coach? All that sort of stuff. So tell us a bit about the team you've joined.
Now for the start of the season, we got from Belupo. He's the coach. Želimir Mjesnjak. He was the assistant for Zoran Zekic for the past couple of years at Belupo. And we've got a pretty good mix of older and younger guys. There's a couple of kids that have come from Lokomotiva to our first team now who are closer to my age. But no, it's a good mix of older and experienced players and then younger ones as well.
Yeah. And how are you finding, has it been a culture shock for you coming from Australia to Croatia, or did you, sort of fit in quite well and quite smoothly? And how have you been received as well over there in Croatia?
For the culture shock, I don't know. It wasn't really a massive culture shock for me, more of a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
But culture shock wasn't really a big one because, man, from a young age, just speaking Crow and being around United and Croatian church all the time. And I don't know, it wasn't really a change, but otherwise I've been received pretty well. I think when you speak the language, you get received a bit better because they know that they can't mess around with you. But
they can't say things behind your back, huh? Yeah. You'll understand.
But no, otherwise it's been pretty smooth, to be honest.
Yeah.
You've played with the Australian under-17s. Are you looking to, obviously get more experience at that sort of youth level, Josip?
Mate, I'd love it if I get picked. That's the only thing. I need to get picked to get the chances. But there's good experience always being in those young national teams, and just going to play how I know best. And if that falls into play and it gets opportunity, I'll jump at that, and I'd love to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The Druga Liga kicks off on the 20th of August, and your first game is against Karlovac, newly promoted team from the 4th tier. Do you know much about them, and what are you expecting from the Druga Liga? Obviously, there are teams from all over Croatia, so there'll be a fair bit of travel involved. But do you know much about Karlovac? And
to be honest, I don't really know much about them except that they beat Zadar in the playoff for the 3rd league just now. But regards to the league, it's physical and it'll be competitive. There's a lot of teams with ambitions to go up to the 2nd league, and up the top is going to be tight, just like it was last year. And it'll be a tough season.
Yep. So
it's going to be hard to go up, but we'll see what happens.
I'll tell you what, go. Yeah, go on, Torch.
I was going to say, I'll tell you what, with this ever-growing Australian-Croatian contingency in the Druga Liga, we'll be certainly following with great interest, won't we?
Absolutely. So many players, exactly. So tell us a bit about the goalkeeper training that you're having at the club. Are you training with the players and having separate sessions, or how do they do it over in Croatia for goalkeepers?
It's pretty similar, mate. Like sometimes we just got all goalkeeper sessions when the players are doing other types of stuff, but usually we get a good half, 3/4 of the session with the goalkeeper coach, and then we jump in with doing transition or possession with shooting or just straight shooting and stuff like that. Sometimes we jump into the possession drills with as bouncers or something like that, but otherwise it's pretty similar on the whole with goalkeeper training and all that. So
And how many keepers are you battling for that first position to be in that round one main keeper for the first team?
There's 3 of us now. There's one that's the same age as me, and then there's another one who's 26 or 27. So there's 3 of us at the moment.
Brilliant. And I noticed you're wearing a cricket top there. You're trying to, promote cricket in Croatia, or what's going on there?
Mate, I tried. I've been watching the Ashes all the time whilst I'm here at lunch with the boys and that, but they just say, "Pa šta je to cricket?" I just say, "Man, the Ashes, we just retain them. What are you gonna? You can't explain it, man. They don't understand."
Did you play cricket at all as a junior?
I used to play at one of my schools, St. Pat's in Stratford. I played for a couple of terms or so. I love it, man.
And you're a wicket keeper as well?
No, back all-rounder.
All-rounder.
Bit of everything.
All the way.
Bit of off-spin.
Exactly.
Well, I know there are a few Croatian cricket clubs. I know in Zagreb and Split and Vis even, of all places. So I don't know how popular cricket is in Croatia, but I certainly know that there's a growing expat community playing the game. But Josip, mate, first of all, we asked Anthony this, and I'd like to ask you as well. Any young Australian Croatian goalkeepers or just general footballers wanting to pack their bags up and go to Croatia, what would be your word of advice to anyone wanting to follow in your footsteps?
Mate, I just say to them to follow what they want and don't let anyone change their opinion on anything they want to do, because at the end of the day, like I think Anthony said as well, you're going to regret it, and no point of staying behind and then thinking about why you didn't try. You better going and trying what you want to do, and then in a couple of years, if it doesn't work out, like Anthony said, you have a good experience out of all of it, and you're not going to miss anything back home, especially when you're 16, 17. More important thing, you think that there's more important things going on, like parties and all that other stuff. So just, I was to say anything to anyone, just follow what you want to do, and yeah, that's it.
Brilliant.
And what are you doing with your spare time at the moment, in between training sessions, etc.?
Now that I've been on a break from uni, I study uni online, but otherwise I just go to the coffee and have some kava, throw some darts, and that's it.
Are you doing uni by correspondence with Australia uni, or
how
are you doing?
At Western Sydney externally online. So.
Oh, brilliant! That's good. So yeah, you can travel and play over there. And
how good is that?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Now, before you go, you have to have a shout out to the family, because I'm sure they're all watching, and there's lots of Joseph Orlovic fans around Sydney and around Australia. So please spend the time to say a big hello to them.
I'll just say hello to my mum's Danka, Johnny, Antes in Crows just leaving now, Olivia, Marina, Ivan, both Bubbas, Streets, and everyone, man. I just want to say hello and hope you all guys are well. Miss you all, and that's it.
Good stuff.
Anyway,
Lovely. Well, thank you, young man. Thank you very much for joining us. Wishing you all the very, very best. And who knows, there might even be a Bjelovar cricket club next summer happening, with your influence out there. Never know. But good on you, mate. Thank you for joining us, Josip.
And best of luck for the season.
You're doing the top job. Love the show.
Good on you.
Thank you, Josip.
Two lovely young gentlemen, and some very, very good words of advice for anyone wanting to follow their footsteps. But yeah, obviously they probably don't want you to be following in their footsteps too closely, because they still want to be playing where they're playing, and they don't want anyone taking their spots. But only joking.
Bright futures ahead of them, man.
Absolutely.
Just gotta, take the opportunity and see where it can take them. You just never know.
That's right. Folks, we're going to be right back after this very, very short break to wind it all up and to talk about next week's show, which is going to be an absolute doozy. Don't go away. It's the Oz Cro Soccer Show, episode 46. Welcome back to the Oz Cro Soccer Show. And that, Ante, brings us back to the end of tonight's show. Before we go, a quick reminder about the big games coming up Friday morning on satellite television. I'm not too sure if Optus Sport or Stan Sport or anyone would have that. I actually don't know. The Europa Conference League, apart from the internet television, IPT, I'm not too sure if anyone is covering the Europa Conference League in Australia. If they are, drop us a line in the comment section in the chat. But Osijek taking on that Hungarian team. Let's call it that Hungarian team. Rijeka taking on that Kosovar team. And then the other game, PAOK Thessalonica from Greece versus Beta Jerusalem from Israel. Whoever wins that game over 2 legs, well, they will be taking on Hajduk Split in the next round.
Conference League was on Optus last year, like the actual league, the group
league
stages,
itself.
etc.
Yeah.
I don't know about the
qualifiers.
We'll have a look at into that.
Yeah, absolutely. And next week, Ante, we talked about it. The Savez, the Croatian Soccer Association of Australia, will be conducting its live draw, folks, next Wednesday night at 8 p.m.
Have they got enough barrels? So they got 2 barrels, 3 barrels. How's it going to work?
They've got it all down pat. Their president, Jure Dragovic, and he's a man of meticulous planning, and they'll probably be doing their own little like a dry run to make sure everything works well. And look, there's
lots of divisions to go through.
I was going to say, yeah.
Oh, right.
Men's Division A, Men's Division B. Then there's the Women's Division. Then there's, I think, the Masters. Then the Veterani or the Veterans. Yeah. So the over 35s, over 45. So you're right. Exactly. You're absolutely right. Like,
this is going to be a night of great everyone's going to be on the edge of their seats, and I'll be on the edge of my seat too. I can't wait.
Don't go too much forward and then fall off your seat, but we still need you for the show. All right, folks, thank you once again for tuning in. And if you are a first-time viewer of tonight's show, because you tuned in to listen to or watch our 2 guests, stay with us. Next week's going to be a huge show. And then thereafter, we hope to have more and more shows leading up to the Croatian football tournament in Adelaide in late September, early October. On that note, Ante, good night. Thank you. And good night and laku noć to everyone else. Thank you for joining us on the Oz Cro Soccer Show.
Absolutely.